Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Baz and this is WELDERFABBER. Let's start today's video on a vintage Hitachi bucket. Let's go and take a look. So next job in is this little ditching bucket for that old Hitachi that's been restored for one of the owners at CH plant. So I was just going to make a new bucket, I'll be honest with you, but he wants to keep that bit, that back plate and the hangers. So in that case, it's the director calling. In that case, what we'll do, we'll cut the sides off, we'll take these little noses off, take the centre plate out, take everything off it other than that and that. And we can make all this, but we can't roll the bottom. So I'm getting my pal Alan at Summit Engineering. He's going to roll as a bottom, but he can only do it in a day or two, so you're better having the bottom first really. He can only do it in a day or two. We might as well crack on and get done what we can on that, because we have a busy couple of weeks ahead and I need to get that done and he wants it back quick. So we're going to do it a little bit back to front. I wouldn't normally do it that way, you know. I'll be putting the bottom in and then making the edges, making the sides and the centre to the bottom, because you never know, it could just be a little bit out on the rolling. But we'll show you, and we'll get that cut apart, and because he wants it as original as possible. Even the sides, we're going to put these holes back in. So them two holes there should be three, one in the centre of that, so that'd be deeper, you'd have a deeper dish on it. So over the years, obviously it's worn down and people have just replaced it, but now it's going back to its original glory, the machine. I'll put a picture again on screen now. Bang, proper restoration.
Right, so we've just arrived at Summit. The lads have done a good job of pressing that for me. I mean, it's pretty bang on. You've done a good job there, lads. Nice one.
He's not included.
So we'll get back and finish this vintage Hitachi bucket off, and we should be able to finish the job now. It'll be a nice job when it's done. Let's get back to the workshop. Right, so we're back at workshop. We've got the template, well, we've got the bottom of the bucket now. Got one side tacked on, which has allowed me to do the template before we went away for a few days. Edges on, new sides are on. We're happy with where everything is. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to gouge all this out, because we will be putting a new centre, like a rib in the bucket. And we're going to take a lot of the rust off as much as we can. With some of the discs, we'll use the dust and fume extractor to get rid of as much of the fumes in here as we can, and then we'll start putting everything back together again. Now this box section here on top of the, well, underneath the hangers, has got a slight bend on it. There is a little crease in the box here, but the customer wants to try and keep the bucket as original as possible, so that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to get all this cleaned up now, get everything back together. Right, so that's everything tacked up, ready to be welded on this bucket. We've got that back edge nice and flush along there now. We've decided to do that joint there as an open corner, because this bucket won't actually be used for digging as such. It's just going to be a bit of a shore bucket to match the machine. It's not really going to do much work apart from maybe scraping a bit of soil on a job, or a bit of a shore. Centre ribs in there, you can see. This is looking nice. I'm happy with how it's come out. Kept the original 3 holes that Christian wanted to keep there, so I'm going to put a few more tacks on it and start welding.
Here we are at Worsley plant in Middlewich, and look what's arrived. The new Volvo EC380 for Howard Stott Demolition, and this is Ryan Stott, Howard's son. Lad. Is this going to be yours one day, what?
It is.
Huh?
Howard works for me.
Does he? So that's the long arm that's going to go on the EC380. What's this little bit here?
That's the intermediate.
That's the intermediate
Yeah,
arm.
so it's just literally just come over this. So you can either work it with just this arm. That does actually fit the short arm as well.
They reckon it'll only take half an hour to switch these over.
Yeah, they've
Quick process.
yeah, they've altered all the pipe work and everything, so it's like a quick hits type thing. Everything's on little rams up, so you just swap everything, so you don't have to knock anything out.
So when you buy these from Volvo, it comes with the actual frame as well.
All that is from Volvo factory. Nothing's added on, and it's ready to work.
Ready to go to work, and it'll be going to work very soon. And for those that don't know Worsley plant, they do loads of attachments, loads of all different attachments and hitches. Very, very good outfit. Breakers, anything and everything. Check them out. We'll put a link in the description. Anyway, that's Big Magnet. We've got a magnet in the workshop at the moment that we're making a frame for Howard, just to make it easier to land on and off the machine and store. So here she is. We're here to measure up for track guards, and we'll actually fit the track guards here. Ryan, what do you reckon? Because it's going to go straight to a job, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going straight out with the short arm on. Worsley's going to fit the hitch on this, send this out, and then we can fit the hitch on the reach arm.
Proper thing. So this also is one that we're going to build a bucket for. So we need to know what grunt it's got, how much power it's got, what cube bucket we can build for it. How big do you want a bucket?
Something that's strong but not massive, and nothing that's going to kill the machine, but we can still load a wagon with.
Yeah.
You know, but we can still rip the footing out.
So you want to be able to go it back. We want a narrower one really then, don't you?
Narrow and deep.
Not too wide.
Narrow and deep.
Yeah.
With some big beefy shanks on.
Yeah. I think you'd have want a bit of paint on that there, won't you?
Yeah, we're just looking at that. We'll get some.
Was you thinking what I was thinking?
Some spray grease.
Alright. So these track guards at the idler end now, just done a few drawings here now, sketching out. We are going to come up here with a plate, 2 gusset plates, gusset plate with a plate on top, bolt holes, then another plate on top, up and over. Whereas the drive end, it's a little bit easier, because on these demo machines, can you see how the track motor, the track frame, actually sticks out further than the track because it's got narrow tracks on it. So we can weld a plate on there, a couple of holes in it, plate up and over. So that end's easier, the other odds more work involved. Now then, these tracks do actually go out like that. How far out do they go, right?
Probably the same again, either side.
Do they?
Yeah,
Goes that wide? Only about that much out.
Yeah, there's big rams in there on either side. So, you know, when you put the reach arm on, it's just a lot more stable. Same you can, you know, with the short arm.
Yeah, I suppose that makes sense when you got the long arm on.
Yeah. This is more like a transport, you know, from the loader.
Yeah.
So expand them right out, and it's solid then.
So when it's actually on site, it'll be probably all wide all the time.
Yeah, we're just going to pull them out now for
Do you want to open it up?
tracking about in here. Yeah, I can do, yeah.
Put it on cam. We'll open it up on cam. Right, so Ryan's jumped in cab now. Just take a little bit of weight off the track frame, so that track's actually off the ground. We don't want to damage the concrete at Worsley plant. So I'll be interested to see how far it does actually come out. Pull it out there.
Hang on, no.
So it's now sending the other side out.
Yeah.
Are you pull it dipper in?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Is that it?
Yeah. So 480 mil coming out there. That's
Quite a lot. It is quite a lot. It's more than what I thought.
That is quite a lot. Put it down there, right? Lift the arm up. Looks well, that. Spin it round so it's nice and level.
It won't rev up until we turn the taps back yet.
All that attachment there, half an hour to change. Let's put the other arm on. Now that's impressive. Looks well, that, right?
No, it does. It looks wide now.
Who's you putting on this? Driver-wise?
Not too sure yet.
You want a good one on this thing, don't you?
Yeah.
So this is an absolute monster, and it feels like a 50 tonner now. It tracks wide like that. So we've got all the measurements we need. We'll get back to the yard. Bucket build coming soon. So we've had a good measure up there at Worsley plant. What a machine. I mean, I don't think you're going to get much better than that Volvo, are you? Anyway, I've just ordered the top plates for the track guards from Genesis Steel, and I'm going to pick them up on my way back. So that just shows how good these men are when I've rung them and get my material cut ready to shape within a couple of hours. I mean, I just ring Tom. Yeah, he's one of the lads that works there. I'm not sure what position Tom is there, but he's one of the lads who works within the factory, and he basically sorts everything out for me. So massive thanks to Tom, because this will push the job along. I've also just ordered the bolts, and I've already got some other 30mm plating, all S355 again. We're going with a 50mm top plate this time, and we're not putting the little half moons within the top plate. We'll just go with a straight plate. So yeah, I want to push this job along, and I basically want to get the job done within a few days, so then that machine can go out of Worsley plant and straight on site, because it's going straight to a job. It won't go back to Howard Yard, that. It'll go straight to a job because of the size of the machine. There's no, the transport wise, it'll go straight to a job, and I think it's going to stay on that job for a long time. So we'll build the bucket for it. So now I'm just getting things running through my head. These are all the things that people don't see off camera. I've got all these things running through my head, how we're going to build this bucket. Basically all the things that you need to do to keep the boys busy within the workshop. Also, whilst I've been here, we've had another inquiry for another wash ramp, but a 35 tonner, and it's looking very promising. It's looking very promising. I've also sent the drawings over. I've got my man Adam Clark Cad to send the drawings over to CDE for the Roto Civ at J.A. Jackson's full wood. Now then, we are going to wait for approval of them men before we may take any more steps forward. So because we've gone into concept 2 now, that means we've designed it twice, done two lots of drawings, and now we're going to put it into CDE's hands to come back to us and let us know that that rotosieve will work in that position, that location that we put it, and then we can crack on with that job. But that could be weeks, months down the line now. I'm not sure. So if that job gets put on back burner for a few weeks or months and we get this wash ramp in, happy days, because we've got the bucket build to do as well. Now then, this bucket build, I am going to get Steve Reed in, which was my dad's apprentice, if you remember a while back. My dad's apprentice came in to the workshop. He is the best welder you will ever see in your life, believe me. Yeah, I've seen some good welders, and many good welders. Woody P's one of them. Woody P used to work with us at Hurt Plant. So we're going to get Steve Reed in to weld the bucket up with us, probably him and Callum. Looking forward to that one. So plenty coming through, guys. I'm just going to call in at Genesis now and pick these top plates up. Some boys these men are. We'll get the camera back out when we get there.
Young Frank here is about to do 2 buckets by himself. Well, he's well on with it. He's well on his way with doing them, aren't you?
Halfway through.
So what he's actually doing is gouging the little adapters off. I think it's an 8-ton bucket, I think this, or 5 maybe. And he's going to put an additional edge underneath. Now we've done quite a few of these, haven't we? Yeah. I think you did some. Have you done any before or not?
Did 2 last week, just the edges, and then this is my first with removing teeth and doing all that.
So what you're going to do is you're going to cut some 250 edge, aren't you?
Yeah.
Overlap about 60mm from that point to the front point.
Yeah.
2 runs of weld, well 3 on each side, 1 across bottom, 1 across back. On both of them.
Same.
I think there is another one there, there's another little one for you as well. When you've done them.
Can't wait.
Alright.
Good.
So you've got 3 buckets, Frank. So I'll leave that one up to you. And we'll put a time lapse on there.
Sound.
I just flew back to pick the trailer up, and now here we are at Genesis Steel, St Helens. Oh, where's my man Tom? Where's my man? Oh, there he is.
How you doing? You alright?
I'm good, pal, how are you?
Not too bad.
All right, mate. Is that my place there?
Yeah, they're the ones.
Some boy, you. Huh? How long ago did I ring you?
Just a couple of hours ago, I think, wasn't it?
Couple of hours ago, and look at this here. Ready. 50mm plates cut for the top of the tracks. So basically that saves me buying a sheet of 50mm in, because I didn't want to drop it. I didn't want to leave a 50-ton machine down at 30mm for the top plates, yeah. How much steel is stock in here?
Got about between 1,500 and 1,700 tonne at the minute sat here, and then we've got pretty similar stock again in Omer in Ireland, so got a fair bit in at the minute.
Omer in Ireland. I'm going over to Ireland shortly, which you guys will see. That will be an episode on its own. How many cutters have you got in here?
We've got one profile machine, 4 heads. Do all your profiling work on that, mainly road plates, but
You just bang them out on that.
yeah, we don't often do profiling jobs, but we'll help you out. We'll sort you out when you need it.
Good man, good man. Appreciate it, mate. Can we get these on trailer? And I'll get back to the workshop. So, once again, big thanks to Tom. All right, pal?
No problem.
Cheers, mate. Back at the workshop. We'll put the rest of the plates on the plasma shortly. And these are our Friday Frank's first buckets. Thought we'd start him off on something really easy. So basically cutting the old adapters off and welding new plates on underneath, as the customer wanted. Didn't want bolt-on edges, just wanted edges welded on to the underside of the old edge. Once the adapters have been cut off, so each one of them buckets has had the teeth adapters cut off and just a plate welded on the underside. From full-time Frankie now, isn't he? Also got a wagon here. Skip wagon off Pete Marquis. This is one of my mates' wagons. He actually drives this, called Baz, as you can tell by the registration. Been pals with him for over 20 years. Well, got a bit of a damaged back end on it. This has been ripped off. So Darren's just sorting this out. This side's to weld up, and then we've got the ram guards to have a look at. Most of Pete Marcus's wagons are sprayed up. Nice, I like the dark night. They're all very different, but that similar style of airbrushing. Well, Darren's running a bit of a mix out here. Got the little Whisper running, the little Sabre plasma cutter, and the Warrior. And using my van also. The power from the Shindauer. And I'm still waiting for the big brother to turn up the 400. Should be any time soon. Absolute weapon. Don't know what to do with that yet. Might go in another van. I have got a lad that's going to come and do some part-time work for us. So that's probably going to go in his van. Luke, my boy Luke, he's going to come and do some part-time work for us as he's going self-employed, and I'm going to help him out. Right, I'm going to head over to Howard Stocks. He's got a trailer he wants me to measure up, and a couple of little bits and bats. We'll get camera back out when we get there. So I just landed at Howard's. And that's the little loo gong that we did the track guards on a while back. And I'm just waiting for the main man himself to turn up. And I actually can see him in the air. Let's watch him land. He's in his helicopter. Wonder if he'll take me out in it. You know you've made it when you go out to a business meeting in a helicopter, don't you? Let's have a chat with main mum. So this is the little SK130 that we thought were only like 9-month-old. And it's 3 years old. Look at it, it looks brand new. Like all Howard's tackle. Like it all. So, the main reason I'm here is about the bucket build. So we have 2 buckets to build. One for the Volvo, which is same hitch as that. Same hangers. Lenoff. And one for the Cat, which is the same hangers as that. The Cat will be done second, the Volvo is going to be done first. So the bucket will pretty much look very similar to that, but more depth to it, narrower. So the outside edge, this 2 here, will be like here. So I'll take some dims in a minute, so we can work the mass out of what it will actually carry. And I think we're going to make it rock spec. Let's go to town on it. And what I mean by rock spec is, if you look at that one there, that's for the Cat. You see how it's got all the big lumps on it. Extra wear bars, extra wear parts. An MST bucket, that ain't it? It won't be like that inside, it won't need that. That's for proper ripping out, that bucket. That's for the big Cat. So these 2 buckets here are exactly the same, and they will both fit on the Volvo that's just landed. So I'm going to get my tape out now. Get all the measurements that I need, and then we will be able to order material and crack on. And then I've got a meeting in the office with Howard. Back in the workshop. That's a 3 metre by 1500 by 30mm S355. This is for the next set of track guards on the Volvo. Got this little bobcat bucket in for JBH. So this plate here is going to run up here. I'll put it on a bit of an angle. So it's a greedy board, basically from the front of the bucket. Do away with these. Make an angle iron frame at the back of it. Do a couple of supports running up the back of there and up the back of there, as you will see. And then this wire is with what we started running in the Warrior MIGs on site. It's a dual shield wire. Cabelco, for those of the people that keep asking, we run 1.2 in the Warriors. Very, very good, smooth wire. We've still a little bit of learning to do on that yet. So the best thing to do, that I suggest that you do, if you want to learn how to use a new wire, put a load of runs down on plates, do like a load of T-fillets, and do some impact testing on it, bend testing, and find out which is the strongest procedure by putting it down, because there's lots of different ways to put a weld down. People say you push, pull, all these different kinds of methods within welding. Find out what works for you. Don't listen to everybody else. Find out what works for you and what's the strongest. It's like when I go out on site welding, not that I do much anymore, but when I do, I know what works, because I know what fails and I know what stays strong. Now then, the little bucket for Rick Hurt for the old Hitachi. That's ready to go. We'll come and pick that up. In fact, I might take you guys to see the machine. I'll speak to Rick and see if he will let us go and see it wherever it is on site. Obviously, I wanted to keep it as original as possible. I just said it, I'll make a new bucket. He went, no. Keep them hangers and keep that back plate. All right then, Rick. Well, there's that. Looks well. He's coming to collect that shortly. Skip wagon for Pete Marquis. Back end's done. So we cut that plate out. Replace that whole plate there, you can see there. Welded it from the back and the front. Re-welded that on, and also re-welded all the cracks on that side. We've just got a light to put on there, the same as that. We rewired it, we just got to mount it. And now there's the ram guards to sort out. So these ram guards here should be connected to that bracket there. We'll take that off, straighten up what we can, and remount them to the arms, because they should be covering them rods at all times. The buckets are ready to go back to Max Civils. There's one more to come out of the workshop. Full-time Frankie's done them, and what a good job he's done for his first little buckets. So we'll slowly start building him up on welding bigger buckets, but his welding's getting much better now. and I have just had verbal confirmation on the next wash ramp. I'll go into more details who it's for once the deposit's in the bank, but it's a 35 ton wash ramp for a main dealer, Telford, and they want it in June, so that'll fit in nicely for us. That couple of months down the road, 35 ton, so we'll just have to get it recalced, because the last one was 15 ton at Glebe, 30 ton at Metcalfe, and this one's 35 ton. So basically what we'll have to do is up the thickness of the angle irons that run across, and maybe, I'd say the legs are all right, because the leg stress testing was fine for over 35 ton. So we just have to up the thickness of the angle irons to get it up to that 35 ton calculation. Cal loves running the plasma. He was on Baxington car breakers last night.
Oh, I believe so.
Well,
yeah, we were there, weren't we? I'm looking some jobs for him.
We need to price that up.
Yeah, there's quite a bit to do there. Like.
So Baxington car breakers, I'll put a link in the description. In fact, put a picture on the screen now, director. Local lads to us, got a load of hard facing and a few bits of other jobs for us to do on site. So I think he wants you on a weekend.
Saturday, I think. Yeah.
Carl ain't going to work Saturday.
I don't mind working weekends.
What?
I don't mind weekends, do I?
You all heard it, you don't mind working weekends. Right, you're working this Saturday. Yeah?
Yeah, whatever.
We'll see, that's in 2 days. Yeah? We've got this mag tray here for Howard stock. Now that's a big heavy magnet, that. I'm going to change that up a little bit. We're going to make that magnet so it sits on rubber. This is basically, so when he takes it to site, it's got a forklift tray key, so you can run some forks in them PFCs. But it doesn't want to be sat on that steel plate. We're going to make a frame and mount rubber to the frame, so really shouldn't have magnets to steel. As you'll see again, we've got a few other jobs to run through before we get back onto that. So whilst I'm just doing a little bit of invoicing, I don't normally do shout outs or anything like that because I get requests all the time. But this one is for a good friend of mine called Scott Robinson, and it's to his brother Colin, his older brother Colin. He's just turned 50, and he wants to wish you a happy birthday and thank you for all the support that you've given him over the years. And I know you're giving him a lot of support, yeah, because I know what Scott's like. And so that's to Colin Robinson, who works at British Aerospace, and apparently a lot of the guys at British Aerospace watch the channel, so I really appreciate that. And oh, you have a good birthday, Colin, from me, WELDERFABBER.
Right, so we'll just put some preheat in the track guards now. I'm going to let young Frank weld these up, the 50mm thick at the bottom of them, well, the top of them track guards. So, reckon you're ready for it or what?
Born ready, mate, born ready.
You get some runs on there.
All loaded up now for Worsley plant. Just going to chuck a few boxes in Cal's van. I'm going to pull this with a Defender. We'll leave blue in here. Now then, this mag tray here, they are actually a thing, these, that people do make that I didn't know. I've only found out since somebody saw it on my Instagram story and messaged me. And I've looked into it, and it is actually a thing that you buy with these. I didn't know that, do you know what I mean? But anyway, so this is just a bit of something that we've put together. That we've used some 120, be 120, be 10 box section there. Some big PFCs, some angle. Made some lifting eyes, want some shackles to go in them. And fully weld it all up, few more brackets to go on it yet. For the mag to sit against, like a plate there, and a plate going back, a gusset plate going back. Then that will sit in it. So Frank can probably do that whilst we're at Worsley plant, and Darren can jump on this bucket here for JBH. This is just a little greedy board. So that plate there is basically got a running line with that. Come up here and run across, back down with an angle iron frame behind it. Cut them 2 steps off and put 2 angle irons up here. So a nice bonny frame for it to sit in, and that's pretty much that boxed off. We'll paint it, prime it, and top coat it black. That can go back to JBH. But this is my main job, get this boxed off and out of the way, because that machine is going out at Worsley plant pretty soon. I'm not sure on what date, but I know it's going out pretty soon. So these are all ready to be welded. These will actually weld on top of the drives. And that'll weld on to that plate there, which you will see when we get to site. The only thing we'll have to drill is these, and maybe cut a little bit off on an angle. So we basically chucked them together quick, because we only ordered the material, didn't we? Got it all quick, cut on the plasma. We'll get to site, get it boxed off within 2 days. The whole job within 2 days. So that's the little bucket done for the old vintage Hitachi, and what a fantastic job Callum has done on that bucket. And whilst I was out at Howard Stocks, the guys actually came and picked it up. But I've got them to send me a little video of it now in primer, but I thought it was going for blast and paint, but they've decided to paint it themselves. So here's a little video of the bucket in primer for you guys to look at. And now I'm going to go and take a look at the actual machine just to show you guys in the flesh. And here she is, the old Hitachi UH062. I thought I'd end the chapter here looking at this machine, as we've just done the bucket for it. So the owner didn't want that bucket on it, they wanted the original bucket on it. And then that'll be attached to the end of that dipper. We've got a D4 here, an old D4. Now whether that'll be going for paint or not, it'll probably be kept as it is. But we have got an old Komatsu here, D31S, that I rebuilt the bucket on years ago when I worked at Hurt Plant. Put a new greedy board on the top. All new, all that bottom end's all new. Rebuilt all that. I just used the original teeth that was on it. Well, that's a nice machine. You might have seen that in a few videos online or magazines, because it's been featured quite a few times, this Komatsu, on a few muck shifting jobs. I have no idea what that is. That little tractor unit is there, I have no idea. Let me know in the comments if you know what that is. So I am actually thinking of doing a full refurb job myself with Callum and the lads. Get an old machine that's very, very tired and old, and go right through it like this and send it to my pal for painting. I know everybody in the trade to get parts, do you know what I mean? So it could be a nice little project for us. It could be a nice little project for you guys to watch on the channel. And yeah, if you do want to see me do something like that, let us know in the comments if that's of interest to you. All right, guys, and end of the chapter here now. I'd just like to say a massive thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.